Ooh.
Thank you for your service. Now I'll give you my backhand. My winner whizzes down the line. Betting weekly tennis live. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
Hi there, welcome to Betting Weekly Tennis Live. It's all about the Canadian Open, the men in Toronto, the women in Montreal. I'm Rory Giovanni, with me Nigel Seeley, to bring you up to date with all the in-play action. Got some very interesting men's encounters in Toronto. First things first, though, we want to get your comments. Tell us what you think about the matches in progress, the matches tonight, tomorrow's matches on both the men's and the women's side. Good morning, Jamil. Thanks for joining us. Give us what you think about all the matches in progress and the later ones. And if you do like what you hear on these shows, you can sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. So this is Betting Weekly Tennis Live, brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. Steve from Lynn, great hits yesterday. Nigel, Matlock, oh my God, it's the betting league of gentlemen. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. Nigel, how are you?
I'm very well, Rory. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a good day yesterday. Obviously, hopefully we can continue that into today. It looks like a tough day of tennis action, both off the court and on the court. Very, very, very warm temperatures across Canada, in particular in Toronto. It looks extremely, extremely hot, a lot humid. And I think it's going to play an important part in your in-play betting, and also your pre-match betting, and for the next couple of days as well, because the temperatures are extremely hot and it's playing quick, very, very quick in Toronto.
Yeah, and that should help someone who's in action right now. Giovanni Mpetshi Perricard against Holger Rune. I think Jamil was saying he's watching that right now. And I think, Nigel, you're very interested in this one. Going with serve in the first set, unsurprisingly perhaps. Mpetshi Perricard, of course, big serving Frenchman against Holger Rune, who's not long come back from injury. Mpetshi Perricard plus 133 now. He's just gone 15 love on his serve in that ninth game. Holger Rune minus 167. The spread is 1.5 games and totals 26.5. Jamil has Perricard money line, and for him to win a set. Nigel, what do you think of?
Well, I've bet him just before we come live at plus 125. In Mpetshi Perricard, I think this is absolutely ideal for the Frenchman. He's serving down some absolute massive bombs. He just served a 227 km/h serve there. In these conditions, and he's playing an opponent in Holger Rune who hasn't been fit. He pulled out of the last tournament he played in just after Wimbledon last week. He didn't participate in Washington. He's come here. The conditions aren't very good at all. He's lost his last 3 matches. Beat Baptiste, got beat by Baptiste, Good, Draper and Jarry at Wimbledon in round 1. He's got he's working with Andreeva at the moment, but this is a tall order for Rune in these conditions. I think he's not going to relish the heat. He's not going to relish the speed of the court. And when you mix the two together, the fastest server in the world of tennis at plus 133, I think it's an absolute monster bet. I'd go in again now at plus 128. Rune is serving. So there's if Mpetshi Perricard breaks him on his serve here, he takes the first set. And when you've got these big servers, they're virtually impossible to be broken, especially on a court like this. I mean, it looks for me that the only way Holger Rune could win this is in a tiebreak. I mean, it doesn't look like he's even getting any opportunities on Mpetshi Perricard's serve, and he's not playing well. This is a price that's been bet on and reputation with Rune. I know Mpetshi Perricard is not in the best of form at all, but he did win a match here in qualification. And I said yesterday, I like the players who win a match before they get into the main draw. He had come through first round to play Holger Rune. Holger Rune's come here straight from Wimbledon, which isn't ideal. Prior to that, Mpetshi Perricard has lost 4 matches, but these conditions look ideal for the Frenchman here. And I think it's a bet at plus 123 as well. So yeah, I'm like Mpetshi Perricard. You're probably not going to get much of a pricing to win a set now when he's doing so well. But I think he's a bet on the money line. Really do.
Yeah, he's conceded just 5 points on serve in 5 games in this first set. And as you say, Rune now serving to stay in the first set. He's got 4 aces already, the young Frenchman. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But Nigel, very bullish about Mpetshi Perricard's chances. Also going on, Marcelo Tomás Barrios Vera against Alex Michelsen. This one also going with serve. Michelsen, the young American, serving first. 3-all first set. Michelsen minus 375. Tomás Barrios Vera plus 265. Mirra Kecmanovic has an early break against Alexandra Muller. He's 3-2 up and serving Kecmanovic minus $5, Muller plus 350. And Karen Kachanov has just got underway against Juan Pablo Fickovic. Fickovic held serve in the opening game. Kachanov now serving the Russian heavy favourite, minus 590. Fickovic plus 390. So that's on the men's side in play. Let's try and have a look at the women's action. I think it's about 4 or 5 matches on the women's side in progress. They're, of course, in Montreal, which is a little bit cooler, I think. Although Montreal has tended to play slightly quicker than Toronto, although maybe this time it will be slightly slower because, as you say, about the weather in Toronto.
I think on that round that we had yesterday, 80% of holds on the men's. So it's playing.
Good grief!
Playing very, very fast.
Yeah, very quick.
So that's very quick. That's probably one of the quickest of the year, and that's why I like. So I think both of them are playing quick, and I think you want to be looking at the players who are big servers. I really do. And the sort of traditional clay quarters, I think they're going to struggle today and tomorrow and throughout this competition.
Yeah, in Montreal, we're into a third set between Alicia Parks and Katie McNally. Parks won the opening set, McNally won the second, and McNally's a break-up in the decider, 3-1. She's minus 560, Parks plus 360. Diana Yastremska against Camila Osorio. That's also into a third set. Yastremska 2-1 up, but that's going with serve. Currently suspended. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. And we've got both finalists from Washington in action right now. And the champion from Washington, Leylah Fernandez, in a little bit of trouble. She's 4-2 down. So she's a breakdown in the first set against the Australian Maya Joint, who already has 2 titles to her name this season. And Joint is the favourite, minus 167. Fernandez plus 128. And Anna Kalinskaya, the runner-up in Washington, she's in the first set against Anne Lee. And that's going with serve. Lee 30-15 up, 3 games apiece. Lee plus 130, Kalinskaya minus 167. I did see one of our viewers put up, are we fading both the finalists from Washington? And Maya Joint certainly, going well at the moment. And it's going to be hard to back that up for Fernandez, especially. I mean, she cruised in the final, but in that semi-final against Rybakina, was it 3 tie breaks and well over 3 hours? So wouldn't be a surprise if she was feeling the effects of last week here in Toronto, and especially in quick conditions. It could be quite hard for her today, Nigel. Well,
there's 2 things that slightly put me off getting with Joint against Fernandez. One of them, obviously, is Fernandez's home tournament. She want to do well. I think if she's playing anywhere else, she may decide to not give it the best and try to get an early exit and then get herself a little bit ready for the US Open, where she's been the former finalist. So the fact it's her home tournament, that puts me off. And the other thing that puts me off is that she beat her last week in round 1 at Washington very easy, 6-3, 6-3. So this is the second time in a matter of a week that the 2 of them have played, and Fernandez won it easily. Maya Joint as well is someone who I've watched in very, very hot conditions, and she's wilted in the heat as well. I mean, she's very, very. She's a very pale girl. She's obviously got. I think she's redheaded as well. And I think she struggles in the heat a little bit. I know she's obviously from Australia, but she struggled massively against Samsonova in Wimbledon in the first round on that really, really hot day. So I can see the logic with Fernandez, and if you took the pre-match price on Maya Joint, which was, I think she was about plus 145 with Bet Rivers before the match started. you got a nice play. But would I bet her now at minus 186 in play? I'd probably be inclined to take Leylah Fernandez actually at plus 140 to make a little bit of a comeback once the crowd gets behind her. That would be, or it may even bet Fernandez on the spread plus 3.5, or even go over on the totals. I'd rather be with Fernandez in play pre-match. Obviously, if you took the plus 143, you're in a great position. She's now gone 5-2, but at minus 225 now for Mayor Joint. I think if you haven't bet her, I think you probably missed the boat slightly, and I wouldn't recommend you taking it to minus 225.
Yeah, just to bring up today, Alicia Parks has broken back against Katie McNally. So she's 2-3, but now serving plus 145 for Parks. McNally minus 190. Grazer, hi to you. I'm on keys 2-love against Siegemund. Thought the Siegemund game yesterday was poor quality. Of course, Siegemund did beat Keys at Wimbledon, but as I think I said in the pod we did on Sunday, it was obviously Siegemund with the variety and using lots of slice and spin shots has more of an effect on grass than it does on a hard court. So I don't think she'll be able to use the same tactics against Madison Keys in the rematch. Nigel, you reckon Keys good thing against Siegemund?
I hope so, because she's our tip to, well, my tip to win the tournament at 12-1. Yes. So I hope she can go deep. I'm very pleased with the way the conditions, and we've read the conditions well. It looks like it's fast. We just got to hope that Madison Keys can turn some sort of bad run of form recently into sort of good run that she had before. But I think it's a very open tournament. She obviously got Iga Swiatek to play. I think she'll be out for revenge against Siegemund. Siegemund match yesterday was really poor against Tatiana Maria, and you would expect it really at their age, 37 and 38, back-to-back matches at 38 for Siegemund after a deep run at Wimbledon as well. If Keys doesn't win it fairly comfortably, then you would question her chances of winning the tournament. But I hope, Grazia, that you're on the winner and we get through to the next round. And the quicker the better for me. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, Mpetshi Perricard and Holger Rune has gone to a tiebreak in the first set, as we kind of predicted. I was saying that Mpetshi Perricard's only dropped 5 points on serve, and that he won the sixth service game to love. So he's dropped 5 points on serve all set. Rune's not far behind. He's serving pretty well too. I think he's only dropped
7. I think.
Yeah. So both men serving well. Mpetshi Perricard's won the first point of the tiebreak on serve. Rune's actually served more aces, 8 aces for Rune against Mpetshi Perricard's 5.
I just think Rune's body could sort of go at any stage. I mean, we've spoken about him throughout the whole year 2025 alongside Sean and Game Bet Match. And Sean, he would never ever take him in testing conditions the way his fitness levels are. But obviously, it's inevitable. It's going to go to a tiebreak when these two play. I think the way this men's tournament is going, the first set overs over 10.5 in a lot of these matches is definitely an angle for today, tomorrow, later on. There's a big serve is definitely a way to look at these matches.
Yeah. Now, Marcelo Thomas Barrios Vera did get a break against Alex Michelsen, but the American has a point to break straight back. So Thomas Barrios Vera 4-3 up, but it's advantage Michelsen in that one. The American minus 190, minus 182 now, and Thomas Barrios Vera plus 138. And Mpetshi Perricard gets the mini break against Holger Rune. He's 2-1 up, and now he is minus money, minus 117. Rune minus 107. So if you got on that plus 125, plus 130 in Mpetshi Perricard, you're sitting pretty at the moment. And just as I say, Michelsen does break back. So it's 4-all between Michelsen and Thomas Barrios Vera. So plenty of in-play action happening. Miomir Kecmanovic is serving for the set. He's 5-2 up. He's got a second break against Alexandra Muller. Kecmanovic minus 910, Muller plus 575. And looking good for Mpetshi Perricard against Rune, 3-1 up in the tiebreak. We will look again at the in-play action in a bit, but now we're going to have a look at some of tonight's matches, starting with the men in Toronto, and 2 matches there up on your screen. Lorenzo Musetti against James Duckworth. Musetti, the Italian, -335, Duckworth +250. The spread, 3.5 games, totals 22.5. Musetti hasn't won since retiring from his French Open semi-final against Carlos Alcaraz. He fell to Cam Norrie in 3 sets in Washington last week. Duckworth defeated Shang Zheng in round 1. He's just outside the top 100 these days. And the Australian won their only previous meeting, although that was 4 years ago. Nigel, what do you reckon to this match?
Well, if anybody has got the newsletter this week, they'll know this is my bet of the first round here. And you can subscribe to the newsletter at bettingweeklystudios.com, and the line has actually gone in my favour. I've taken Duckworth Lewis. That was the tennis player, the cricket. I'm taking James Duckworth +4.5 earlier on, and I wouldn't reason to say any reason why I wouldn't take him +3.5 here at -107. Lorenzo Musetti is not fit. It's as simple as that. He's playing here, but he's nowhere near 100% fit. He's getting there, but he isn't 100% fit. Like you say, he hasn't won a match since the French Open quarterfinal at the beginning of June against Francis Tiafoe. The performance last week against Norrie was okay, but he's nowhere near the player he was going through to the semi-finals of Rome and the semi-finals of the French Open. And Duckworth is a wily old character who's been around a long, long time. And he's had the advantage of playing in the first round already with the win over Zhang. And it was a good win 6-3, 7-6. Nice win for him as well. And I think he's going to cause problems tonight for Musetti. It's not because I believe that James Duckworth is a better tennis player than Lorenzo Musetti. And I don't think for 1 minute that 100% fit Lorenzo Musetti would probably be about -$5 to win this match. But I do think he needs some tennis under his belt, Musetti. He needs to get back to winning ways as quickly as he can if he's going to go into the US Open with any kind of confidence. And I think Duckworth will test him tonight. So 4.5 was my original play, but 3.5, if you haven't got the newsletter, you need to subscribe to the newsletter. Make sure you get the early value. But Duckworth tonight +3.5 against Musetti. An injury hit Musetti. The price has been factored in, but I don't think it's been factored in enough. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, again, the over 10.5 set number 1. But I'm going for Duckworth to cause Musetti some problems. If you want to be brave, take him on the money line at +250, but that's been nibbled out all day. I just think the handicap is the best way to play. In the other match, Schoolkate against Arnaldi. Schoolkate yesterday served fantastically well to beat João Fonseca. The Brazilian guy. Have we got carried away with this João Fonseca? You know, everybody was talking about him as a potential major champion at the US Open, or potentially going on to be a future Wimbledon champion, or many slams before. It maybe have come, but we might have put too much pressure on him. But Schoolkate did a number on him yesterday, beat him in straight sets. He's actually had the advantage of playing 2 matches on court here. He's up against Arnaldi, who isn't going to be suited by these quick conditions. I'm telling you that now. Arnaldi didn't win a match on the grass court this year. His hard court record is pretty poor as well. He got to the last 16 at Washington last week. His grass court record in his whole career is pretty bad. He's a clay dog. He's an Italian boy who loves it slow. And I think Tristan Schoolkate, I usually like to fade people on the back of them having a big win, but I think he might be able to back that up, you know. I think he's got a chance tonight against Arnaldi, and Arnaldi won't like these conditions at all. So I quite like Schoolkate this evening at plus, what I think it's +143, isn't it?
Yeah, it's come in actually. It was +150 earlier, and there's been a bit of money for the Australian.
Yeah, +143, and I would probably bet him again +2.5. I think that Schoolkate can cause problems tonight again. So I'm going to with the 2 dogs. This tournament as well is a tournament that is very, 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 very favourable to underdog bettors. There's a lot of underdog bettors. And if you looked at the round 1 so far, that we've had a lot of dogs have won in round 1, some big price dogs as well. And we've also had big price tournament winners. Alexei Popyrin won it last year at 250 to 1. 2 years previous to that, 2 years prior to that, Karina Buster won it 150 to 1. So it is a tournament where underdogs can have their day. And it's because of the transition from Wimbledon to here, where it's scheduled in the calendar. People come here and they rest after Wimbledon and they come in cold. And you may get some shocks. I think if you bet the underdogs blind this week, you'll be in profit so far, and I'm going to go for 2 underdogs there on the handicaps though. I'll probably be more brave to take Schoolkate on the money line, but on the handicaps, I like the 2 of them.
So there you go, Nigel liking the underdogs in both matches. The Australians, the 2 Australians against the 2 Italians. Nigel going for those on the handicap and possibly on the money line. Just saw a couple of your messages. One was about Baptiste. Can she get 2 breaks? She's playing Elena Rybakina. Rybakina, unsurprisingly, quite a heavy favourite in that one. I think the message was, can Baptiste get 2 breaks?
Well, I think you and I got different views on Hailey Baptiste. I mean, I think her conditioning lets herself down in these really. She's a very big girl. She's obviously fit, but she's a big girl, and I think she struggles in immense heat. And she shouldn't do really where she's positioned in the world, where she's based in America. I think she's from Washington, isn't she?
She's from Washington, yes.
Yeah, but she does struggle in the latter stages of matches, and I think Rybakina will probably be able to handle conditions a little bit better.
Yeah, Rybakina, quite a heavy favourite for that one. -455, Baptiste +334. And I saw another message about needing your advice on, I think, Kostyuk against Vondrousova, I think was one of the matches. Yeah, and Tristan versus Noskova. Kostyuk's still in absolutely horrible form. I think she's lost 6 matches in a row. She got beaten. I think I advised Raducanu in straight sets against her last week, and that landed. So I wouldn't be going anywhere near Kostyuk at the moment. Tristan Noskova, Tristan definitely best on clay. Noskova in good form. Noskova will definitely appreciate these quick conditions. So I'd expect comfortable win for Noskova, and I'd expect a fairly comfortable win for Vondrousova. Nigel, think the same, pretty much?
I do. I think they'll probably win, but I mean, I wouldn't be rushing to have a bet in either of those matches purely because Noskova was coming here from Prague last week, reaching the final, disappointing, won the first set, looked like she was going to cruise through and lost. Massive difference in conditions from here to there. The travelling on top of that will put me off slightly. And then I would look at like the other match as well. Was the what was the other match? I can't remember the other match you said. I'm just watching Holger Rune win the first set there. Kostyuk Vondrousova. You would fancy Vondrousova to win it if she showed the form pre-Wimbledon, but Kostyuk is a very, very talented player, and if she hits her stride, then she could get going. But I think there's much better options to be had in these first rounds in those 2 matches.
Yeah, as Jamil says, Rune nicked the first set 9-7 on the tiebreak against Mpetshi Perricard. So the Dane is a set to the good. He's -590, Mpetshi Perricard +$4. Total games over 25.5 -159, under 25.5 +120.
Well, the way they serve,
it'd be 3 tie breaks, wouldn't it?
Yeah, very. I mean, what price is second set tie break? I mean, that could be the better play. I mean, hardly any of them dropped any points. It was 9-7 on the top. And what have we got total in the games?
Total games over 10.5 is +125.
Over 10.5 +125.
That looks huge.
That's what price is a tie break then?
I can't see that.
Over 12.5 games on
there. Tie break in set 2 +180.
Well, I mean, I think you've got a bet. I think over 10.5 at +125 is a cracking bet.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to go off for a second. I'll come back online in 2 minutes when I just bet that. I mean, that's an absolute belter bet. The way they've just +1. I thought over 10.5 would be about -120. Like, I think that's a great bet.
Yeah, Mpetshi Perricard hasn't been broken yet. Neither player has been broken, and it might not happen because they're both serving absolutely lights out. They certainly did in that first set. Marcelo Thomas Barrios Vera against Alex Michelsen. That's back on serve 5-all. Michelsen serving 15 love. He's -335. Thomas Barrios Vera +240. Miomir Kecmanovic won the first set 6-2. It's on serve in the second, but Alexandra Muller with a mountain to climb. He's $7 to come back in that one. Karen Kachanov has a early break against Juan Pablo Fickovic, 2-1 ahead. He's -1115 and Fickovic +650. We'll go and look at some of tomorrow's women's matches in Montreal, and
these are today actually, Roy.
It's later tonight.
Yeah, I think Mirra Andreeva and Bianca Andreescu is not far off. I don't think. I think that's coming up very shortly. I mean, I know you've picked Mirra Andreeva is one of your picks to win this tournament, but I think
she's short. She's short for this.
Don't you think that's a tough start? I mean, this is Andreescu who's just beaten Krejcikova in qualification.
How fit is Krejcikova though? I mean,
she just won the Hopman Cup as well.
Oh, did she?
Canada won.
Andreescu did. Yes.
Yeah, she won 3. She's won 3 matches. But I think if she got to the semi-final of the Hurton, she's playing the best tennis she's had for years, and it's a home tournament. Andreeva hasn't played since the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. I think you've got to be really, really, really brave to be taking that kind of price on Mirra Andreeva. Andreescu's withdrew again. Apparently, someone's saying there.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. That must have happened. This happened recently. I didn't even know that. Well, anyway, if that is the case, then you've had a lucky escape, or you've had a right result. But I didn't see that. I'm watching the TV show. I'm watching the TV over here, and they're billing the match next up. So they're just showing Andreescu. So anyway, okay. Well, that's a massive bit of luck for Mirra Andreeva.
So I've just seen a message. She injured herself on match point against Krejcikova.
Oh, yesterday. I didn't even notice that.
She injured her left foot. It was announced 20 minutes ago by the tournament. So Andreeva is through by walkover. So I've had a bit of a result there.
You've had a right result. Absolutely right result. I thought that was going to be a tricky little match for you there. But anyway, you've had a right result.
And
we need a little bit of luck on this WTA stuff.
We do, but you've got to feel for Andreescu, as you say, playing really good tennis, and she's injured again. I mean, she just cannot catch a break. She's had so many.
She can catch a break, an ankle, knee,
anything else. Yeah,
finger. She catches a lot of breaks.
Yeah, you've got to feel so sorry for her though. I mean, 2019 US Open champion. She's barely had. She's not had a full season. You know, there's been an injury in every season since, pretty much, and it's a real shame. And in her home tournament as well. Yeah, that is it's absolutely devastating for her. So that's one less match for us to look at. Second match, Veronika Kudermetova -122 against Olga Danilovic +100, so even money. Spreads 1.5 games, totals 21.5. Kudermetova is I just cannot get her right at all. She really struggled at times against Kristina Buxa in round 1. Danilovic went out in round 2 at Wimbledon to Madison Keys. One previous meeting, which was over 6 years ago, Kudermetova won in straight sets, but I wouldn't read anything into that. What's your view on this one, Nigel?
Well, I'm actually surprised that Danilovic is the underdog. I thought she'd be the favourite here. I know she's had a bit of a bad hard court campaign. You know, only 3 wins from 7 matches, but this is slightly different. You know, this is a good little a court speed that I think she'll quite like. Kudermetova as well will like it as well. There's nothing between the two in the world rankings, 40 and 42. But I think I thought Danilovic would be a slight favourite here, so I'd be leaning toward Danilovic. Veronika Kudermetova is so inconsistent, so leaning toward Danilovic and nothing really massive. Goff against Collins, I think that's an interesting match. I think Goff here is the number 1 seed, and number 1 seeds have a terrible record in this tournament. She's coming here for the first time since that awful performance at Wimbledon against Jastrzębska. Collins looked quite good against Tomova, and I think she'll relish in the role of an underdog here against Goff. And I think that's a test. I like the over in that match. I like over 20.5 games. I think that will be. I don't think that will be anywhere near as straightforward as that -345. The other thing as well, Coco Gauff needs it as slow as possible. The quicker it is, the more it'll suit Danielle Collins. I mean, she got to the final. Did she win Miami a couple of years ago? And that was a very quick year at Miami. Very, very quick year. And very kind of similar conditions that they're going to be playing here in Montreal.
But won't this be a night match? So will it be a bit cooler and I still think
the court will be. I still think it won't be as slow as Coco Gauff needs it. Coco Gauff needs it really slow. Danielle Collins, I think she'll thrive on the opportunity to play the number 1 seed and the American number 1. So I'll give Danielle Collins a chance there. I'm going to go for over 20.5 games. And the other one, I think that's a blockbuster. Mbuka, the young Canadian girl, up against Sophie Kenin. I think that is a real interesting matchup. Mbuka is someone that gets bet every time she takes the court because there is a little bit of a hype around her. But again, she looks a good player, but are we getting carried away with her? Are we getting a little bit carried away? A little bit
I'm really surprised at some of the prices she's been sent off recently because she's talented. She's obviously a good player. She's got plenty of potential, but she seems hellish short for some of these matches.
Yeah,
Really
I think there's sometimes that you people, bookmakers and people involved in tennis look at social media or read articles about these young players, and suddenly they price them up as though they're superstars. We saw it the other day in the women's tournament over in the Czech Republic, where Bauskova played that young. What's the girl? I can't remember the girl's name.
Valentova.
Well, at the start of the tournament, Valentova was like 25-1, and Bauskova was 10-1. And when they met in the semi-final, I think it was, Valentova started the match at like -$2.
Yeah,
and it's because that people just got a bit hyped away about it. And are we getting carried away? She's up. She's got all the pressure on her. There'll be a packed house cheering her on, and she's up against a former major champion in Kenny. I think that's a little bit. I genuinely thought that might be a picker match actually. So when it's plus 125 Kenny, and I've got a lean. I wouldn't bet it, but I thought that one. I think this Victoria Mbuko is being bet as though she's a top 20 player at the moment. She undoubtedly will be, but I think sometimes we do get very, very carried away about some of our players, these young players coming through.
So that's tonight's matches in Montreal at the moment in Montreal. Thanks, Jared. It's going, feels like it's a good show. Yeah, enjoying it. Stairway to 7, Alexandra Rybakina and Keys Parlay, -148. Yeah, I can see why. 3 players who should really relish the conditions, certainly quick conditions.
Never trust Alexandrova at -350.
Well, no.
This year, so I can't. I wish for you, Stairway to 7, who did a lovely little football chant rhyme today on X. So thank you very much for that. But any treble that's got, or any parlay that's got Alexandrova in, and you only get -148 that 3 eventualities win. It worries me. I prefer, if someone said to me now, you can have that parlay, or you can have the bet that who was it? We mentioned it earlier. Someone mentioned it earlier to us. Grazia said 2-0 Keys. I think I'll take 2-0 in the single Keys actually.
Yeah, that sounds safer, given what Alexandra has been like recently. With was it 13 match points she squandered?
Please, Rory, move on to the next game, please.
Move on. Live women's action in Montreal. Alicia Parks, Katie McNally, 5-all in the decider. McNally serving first, -182. Parks +140. Diana Yastremska has just beaten Camila Osorio 6-2. in the third. Maya Joint has taken the first set against Leylah Fernandez, so there could be an upset. Quick turnaround from last week. Could the Australian be about to gain revenge on the home favourite? Joint winning the first set 6-4. She's held serve at the start of the second. Now -335. Leylah Fernandez +235. Into a tie break between Ann Lee and Alla Kalinskaya. And that is with serve. Ann Lee +165, Anna Kalinskaya -220. Fancies Baptiste to cover the spread against Rybakina. A couple of messages about that match. Quite surprised people are that interested in that one, because with Rybakina, it's if her serve's working in these conditions, she's pretty much unbeatable. But I suppose
it's a big if.
That's the if. That is the if. So, that's the women's action going on right now. We've got a couple more matches to look at tomorrow.
Yeah, this is where my daily double is, Rory. So then people are asking about the daily double. That's why I put these 2 in the daily double. And this is where I'm concentrating on. And the first one, obviously, the men's draw is Diallo, the Canadian, who's had an exceptional year up to a career high in the world. I think he's up to he's the 27th seed here. He's just outside the top 30 in the world at the moment. And he is a player who I believe is going to relish the conditions. He's an absolute massive, massive server. He will relish this. And Giganti is not somebody, the Italian, who will like it as quick as it is. I know he won against Borna Koric yesterday, but Borna Koric is the shadow of the player that we saw, making inroads at Wimbledon a few years ago and having big wins over Novak Djokovic and sort of get inside the top 10 in the world. But this is to me, this is a player that will relish the conditions and a player that will struggle in conditions. Diallo will think he's got a great chance of going deep in this tournament, his home tournament. It's been a sensational year for him. His clay court form, his grass court form was exceptional. He won the tournament, Hertlingenbosch, didn't he? But he beat Zizou Bergs in the final. He didn't really do much. He should have beaten Taylor Fritz at Wimbledon. But
that was a cracking match as well.
Yeah,
that was a brilliant match.
And I really like him to cover the 3.5. So my first daily double is Gabriel Diallo -3.5 against Gigante. Gigante played a very, very long match yesterday against Borna Coric as well. So he may have taken a lot out of him. Diallo will just be banging down those serves, and I expect Diallo to blow Gigante off the court. So that's part one of my daily double. And my second match comes in the match there, which Bet Rivers make a virtual pick'em match between you got Samsonova and you have Osaka, and I want to be with Samsonova here. 2 wins apiece. Samsonova won in Berlin this year on a very quick grass court. She also won in Madrid, which is a very, very quick clay court in very quick conditions, as Rory will know, at altitude. Yeah. And the only times Osaka's beaten Samsonova is in Indian Wells in 2024, which is one of the slowest hardcore events. It'll be slower than Madrid, slower than a lot of clay courts, actually. Indian Wells is very slow. And she did beat her in Miami this year as well. The market loves Naomi Osaka. I don't. I think we're getting put away by her. I mean, she got beat easily by Raducanu in Washington. She got beat by Pavlyuchenko in third round at Wimbledon. The market loves her. The market thinks she's going to bounce back and come through. I think we've got a player in Samsonova here who always gets the quarterfinals, semi-finals. She very rarely doesn't go deep, hence her reason that she's into the top 16 in the world. She's 33 places higher than Naomi Osaka in the world, and probably on this surface, she would be in this tournament. I would say she'd probably be in the top 5 to 8 players that would be ideally suited to this tournament. Obviously, she gets a bit nervous and she drops points, but I just don't get why she is even money to beat Naomi Osaka tomorrow. I think it should be the other way around, and it wouldn't surprise me that by the time these two take to court tomorrow in Montreal, we have flip-flopping favourites, and Samsonova becomes the favourite. So I'm going to take Samsonova at even money and Diallo at -3.5. Have you worked out a daily double for me, Rory?
I have, although we got a slight issue in that the price has moved slightly on Diallo because he's now -124.
That's okay. That's okay. We're not going to put any transparency and honesty is what his show is about. So we're going to give you the real life price. No problem.
So yeah, -124 for Diallo, even money for Samsonova. The daily double plays. I always say pays +262 because I'm thinking plus. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it pays +262. The daily double.
That's the bet. That's the bet. It says that Stairway to Seven says now she's already made it -103 a bet with Samsonova. That wasn't there 30 seconds ago, was it?
No.
So it's
no, it's still +100 on my screen.
Yeah. So Samsonova to beat Naomi Osaka and Diallo -3.5. It pays 262. 262. That's the bet. Mpetshi Perricard just double faulted to give Holger Rune the break, so that match is over. We've done our money, boys. Move on to the line. That's over.
Yeah, but my joint's looking good. 3 love up.
Well, I said that was. Yeah, I said don't do that either. It's been a nightmare. Anyway, just do the daily double and the matches tonight. That's all I care about.
There we go. There we go. The daily double. We had the daily double. Diallo to cover the spread. Samsonova, even money to beat Naomi Osaka. I completely agree on Osaka. She's just not the player she was. No. But the bookies seem to think she almost is. And
the betting public, they just better. And some of her, you look at her results. I mean, that's not, she plays brilliant for a set, and you think, oh, she's back, and then all of a sudden she's all over the place. So not for me at the odds.
Yeah. Final in-play updates mentioned that Mpetshi Perricard's been broken by Holger Rune, who's going to go through by the looks of it. Tomas Barrios Vera, he did have set point against Alex Mikkelsen in the tie-break, but he's just blown it. Mikkelsen saved it. So it's back on serve. Mikkelsen serving at 5-6. Alexandra Muller is a break up on Kecmanovic in the second set. So the Frenchman's back in this, plus 180 to complete the comeback. Kecmanovic, who won the first set, minus 245. And Karen Khachanov, he's a break up on Juan Pablo Fickovic. 4-2 at the moment. Fickovic about to make it 3-4. And in Montreal, into a deciding tie break between Alicia Parks and Katie McNally. And Parks has a mini break right at the start. She's minus 177. McNally plus 133. Anna Kalinskaya has won the first set against Ann Lee on the tie break. She's now minus 590. Ann Lee plus 390, the American. And that is it for Betting Weekly Tennis Live. We haven't had great success on the in-play action, but
we only had one bet. I said if I was betting now, I would probably look to favour my joint. But I did. I fancied Mpetshi Perricard in these conditions. Holger Rune he's gone toe to toe with him. He nicked that first set, and once he nicked that first set, it's demoralising for Mpetshi Perricard to come back. But it was crucial that set. Once he's got a break up in the second, he's virtually over the way these are serving. And it's not good for the over 10.5. That was the other bet I said, didn't I? So that was not good.
Yeah, that's not looking so good. But the daily double, high hopes for the daily double, and hope you get involved with that. Tell us what you think in the comments below. And of course, if you like what you hear, make sure you sign up to the Betting Weekly newsletter. Get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Did see a couple of messages saying, I think one was saying, from our Villa fan, 43 viewers, but only 13 likes. So you need to like. You need to press like and you need to subscribe. That's what.
And all the 13 likes were from Villa fan.
Yeah, exactly. So, you need to do that. But thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. And boys will be back tomorrow for some more Betting Weekly Tennis Live.